Streaming live.
Hello, everyone. Good to be with you again. It is such a massive time for us all in so many ways. It's just so fantastic that Carol Ann and I can pop in and see you like this and spend some time with you and offer you some support videos.
Yes, it really is good for all of us because, you know, we're all feeling the same way. So if we can come in and support one another as we settle into our stay-at-home mode and our emotional mode, then that's great because that's what we're here for. We're here for one another.
Yeah, yeah. And the other day we did that little video riding the wave. Well, little did we know that we were about to ride a huge wave, and not only were we riding the wave, we were feeling very overwhelmed with it. And for a couple of days there, I felt really just awful. I have to tell you the truth. However, I learned a lot of stuff through that. And one of the things I learned was it's not about not having these times. It's not about not experiencing this. It's about having the permission and the strength to experience whatever comes up, knowing full well that it has something to share with us, something to teach us, and it is not going to last, even though at the time it really felt like, because I was sick in the stomach, I couldn't sit still, I was so anxious, wasn't I, Carol Ann?
Yes, you certainly were. You were not yourself.
No, I was frightened about everything. I was frightened to go outside. I was frightened about everything. And so it showed me where fear is living inside of me, in my head, because it's not in my spirit, but it was in my head. And reaching out and being honest and sharing how I feel, how I was feeling, has been really, really important.
Yes, because, you know, you reached out to me little knowing that I was just drowning down there in the midst of the wave as well. It was like this huge wave had washed over me. And I was actually feeling a bit unwell in my tummy, but more than that, my mind was telling me that not that I'd been abandoned, but, you know, I was feeling unwanted. I was feeling that I didn't belong and just totally detached from all of the things that I love and I'm part of. And it wasn't that I detached myself, but I felt that I had been detached by other people, which was of course not true. But this is what this wave and the anxiety and the emotion and everything does to you. So you need to be honest when it happens and say, this is what's happening and what am I going to do about it?
Yeah. What are the best ways for me forward? I couldn't eat. Sorry, a message came through and I wasn't sure whether I needed to pay attention to it. I couldn't eat. I wasn't sleeping well. And it was really interesting. And it took me a couple of days to really get what else was happening for me, Carol Ann. One of the things that's happened in my life recently was I had some blood tests and my insulin level was very high. And I've always been a bit of a great big sugar fiend, actually. And my doctor said to me, now, you are not diabetic. You are not. If you want to stay that way, you're going to have to take some measures in your diet. And I mean, eating all this sweet spikes your insulin levels, and it starts to create a whole knock-on effect inside the body. And so from that moment on, I made a decision, which really kind of surprised me how easy it was to make the decision. I wasn't bringing sweets into the house anymore. When I went out, if I wanted to have a piece of cake or whatever it was, fine. But I'm not having them in the house anymore. And I didn't realize, Carol Ann, through this time of fear that I've been in, and my mind has been leading me down the garden path, and I've been, I won't say allowing it because it's been a very valuable experience, but normally I have my comfort foods, got my biscuits, my chocolate, my ice cream, all of those things that I normally love and think, I don't even give it a second thought. If I want it, I go get it. Simple. I never say, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that. You know, it's going to go to my hips or whatever. I never do that. It's like, if I want it, I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to complain about it. So it was only yesterday, wasn't it, that I really came to that wisdom, that not only was I experiencing all these other things, I was also experiencing the lack of my comfort food. I was grieving deeply for my go-to. It was kind of like my best friend had disappeared all of a sudden and said, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
And this is one of the things that happens to us at times like this. Like, we've never lived through anything like this, but we want to, it's something within us wants to go back to those comfort foods, the things that we feel support us at a time that we know that we're not at our peak energy, at our peak thinking, and all of those things. So it's something deep within us, and that's when it's really good when we can recognize that, and then we can say, okay, that's what's happening at the moment, and to be able to talk to one another about that. We're very blessed that we can just get on the phone or whatever, ring up and say, oh, I'm feeling really crappy today. Oh my God, I'm crappy as well. And so, you know, you can have this conversation, and that way you're letting it out, because we need to let these things out and not let them bury themselves deep inside us.
Yeah, because we can, well, for me anyway, I can get to a point where I feel like, look, I shouldn't be feeling this. I should be, you know I've got my spiritual principles here. I've got a lot of spiritual tools and my faith is very deep. And yet, so the purpose of today is, if you are experiencing something like this, it's okay. It really, really is okay. You're going to be okay. You're already okay. It's just we're on this matrix as well. We're having this human experience as well. And so stepping out of 3D and into 5D all the time, because that's where we have known to live for so long in this lifetime, is in the 3D realm. So we're really stepping up and opening up, aren't we?
We are, and you know, it doesn't always feel comfortable, and this is why we need to be kind to ourselves. And the thing to remember too is that in this human body, this human experience we're living in this lifetime, we're here to experience emotion, and all of these things are emotions. And so we need to realize it's okay. And if I need to go, the other morning I said to Anayah, I'm going to get in the shower and I'm going to have a really good cry while I'm in the shower, because I knew I was going on to do a meditation a day about an hour later than that, and I didn't want to have these creepy red eyes from crying. So Anayah said to me, you looked all right when you went on air. And I said, yeah, but I'd got rid of it all down the plug hole. And that's something I quite often do. If I've got something I want to release and get rid of, go and get in the shower. I'm going to wash that out of my hair. I'm going to let it go down the drain hole. And that's a tool I use sometimes. So
it's a good tool too.
Yeah.
There is a wonderful prayer I heard Christian Northrup speak about so often through her it's an audio book. I got the audio book, which was amazing. Goddesses Never Age, I think it's called. Honestly, I can't recommend it highly enough. And she has the Change Me prayer. And the Change Me prayer is so simple. Divine Beloved, change me into someone who has stronger faith. Divine Beloved, change me into someone who is ready to accept the truth of my safety.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful? Divine Beloved. What did I say the other day? I did a prayer the other day, and this is probably all part of it as well. Divine Beloved, change me into someone who accepts her full magnificence.
Whoa, that's beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
that can go on the website. I think that's beautiful.
True
Because
that.
this is it. We need to remember that we are magnificent beings, because we've been sent here, and we're from God. And so, you know, we're in God's image, and we're here to live a life that we are magnificent. But we're here also to learn lessons and how we cope with life and emotion and all of those things. And to me, one of the things that I like to think about is that, yes, we know that he'll never give us more than we can handle. But sometimes if we feel it's more than we can handle, we can easily talk to him and say, "No, God, you know, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Need a little bit of support. Archangel Michael, all the angels, I need you," because we need to be magnificent, absolutely magnificent, and live in our magnificence, because that's who we are.
Yeah. That's one of the main, when I first started channeling from the angels, that was one of the things that they kept saying over and over again. And that's why you'll see it on Angel Light 777. Remember your magnificence. When they first said that to me, I felt, I was shocked. I was so shocked that anyone could see any magnificence in me for a start. And they just kept saying to me, remember your magnificence. And they also said to me, fear not, because fear is your friend. In fear, you will find the places in you that need loving.
Yeah.
So when I went into this overwhelming fear the other day, it took me a while. It took me 2 days. I feel centered and grounded again today. I feel really excited about everything again today. So it took me 2 days to really, first of all, I tried not to feel that way. Doesn't work. Denial never works. Avoidance never works. And of course, I didn't have any ice cream to eat, so that wasn't working. And when I was a little kid, some of my favourite memories are around sweets. For example, I remember Mum making ice cream, and you guys who were much younger than us won't know about that. There was only homemade ice cream, and it took hours. This churning. So it was such a special thing. And Mum used to make lamingtons, which is such an Aussie cake, and it's a sponge cake. Mum would make big sponge cake is about that deep, right? And then she'd cut them into squares, and then she'd soak them in like a liquid cocoa, and then roll them in coconut. And I can remember so clearly, Caroline, standing, it was big enough to see over the table, and watching and just waiting for, and then you'd get little balls of the cocoa with the coconut, and they'd kind of roll toward me and I'd grab. So I have a very deep connection with sweet in terms of care, love, happiness, joy. And so it's now time for me in my journey to begin to realize and find ways to release that connection and have connection in the sweetness that is my spirit.
Yes. And this is it. It's a wonderful goal that you've got, and it's wonderful that you've been able to recognize that, because sometimes people don't ever recognize that sort of thing. So that's really great that you've been able to recognize that.
Absolutely.
My mum's absolute beautiful ones were chocolate mud cakes, and you cut the cake and it'll be oozy inside. And for our birthdays, it sounds funny nowadays, but you didn't decorate cakes a lot then, or my mum didn't anyway. So for each birthday, she would make like a little mouse, and the body was a prune, and its ears were peanuts, and its tail was a bit of licorice. And we just loved these little things on our cakes. And to this day, I can just see all of that. And my sister quite often makes a chocolate mud cake, and occasionally she says, oh, well, it was a bit of a volcano and it's flopped in the middle, so it didn't quite work out like Mum's now. But so it's a recipe.
Memories.
It is beautiful memories.
So for someone else, and hey, we'd love to hear what your memories are, because as we share these memories, not only are we, accessing these beautiful memories, but we can also start to piece together what they mean for us, if they're serving us or not serving us. So obviously this thing about sweets is not serving me. So therefore I have made the decision, like when I decided to become a non-smoker, oh my gosh, that was one of the most challenging periods I've ever been through. Yet at the same time, going through that, I could see the correlation to what was happening. But when we understand where these memories are coming from, what they're really meaning, what's the deeper meaning, we start to see where the threads are connecting, don't we? And we can begin to tease those threads open and just begin to let them go. And then everything changes. So it's a very powerful thing to do.
Yes, it is. And it's something that we can all do, and we can sort them out in our own way and in our own time, and just work it out. Just sort of think, okay, so what's the meaning behind all of this? And it's like the other night I was telling Anayah I had this dream, and I dreamt that there was like a cliff, and there was a ladder that you down the side of the cliff. And I didn't want to, but I had to go out on that ladder, face the cliff, and then take the steps down. And as I'm going down, I'm going into the water. And I'm thinking, oh, I don't open my eyes in the water, so how will I know where to go? And the voice just said to me, you can open your eyes in the water. You can breathe in the water. You can see what's happening. So I go down into the water. I could see what was happening. Came back up and I woke up. So that water was emotion, and it was helping me stepping off the void, which was the cliff, and then going through the water, and I could see what I needed to do and what was happening to get through that emotion I was feeling at the time. The same as Anayah, we were both coming through these times of emotion. And so we get to see different pictures and different ways of analysing it, or just working it out. To be able to just work it out just makes an amazing difference to how you feel.
It really does. So make sure you stay in touch with your trusted ones. Stay in touch with us. And the other really important thing here is really concentrate on the conversations you're having. If you are constantly affirming that everything's wrong, that it's going to get worse or whatever, it's not about not recognizing what's happening. But we watched that fantastic, oh gosh, absolutely fantastic video that Deb Goldberg shared yesterday with, I don't know his name. I'm sorry, I can't think of his name right now.
John Cohen or
Alan Cohen or something.
Alan Cohen. Yeah, Alan Cohen.
And he was sharing some of the principles from A Course of Miracles as relating to what's happening right now. So that's our resource for you today. We are going to put that in the link for you on this video, so you can go and have a look, because he gave a very great explanation using the Star Trek Enterprise, didn't he? Yes,
he did. When they were out on the Starship Enterprise in one of the episodes, there was this darkness that had come in, and it was coming in, and it was just taking over everything, this darkness. And of course, all of the crew were fearful. And the more fear they had, the more the darkness grew. And so then the captain realised what was happening, and he got everybody to just relax and calm down and feel at peace. And when they did that, the darkness had no power, and the darkness went away, and it didn't injure them or make any difference to the Starship Enterprise. And that's where we are at the moment.
Yep.
The fear that is out there, we need to just relax and don't let it overwhelm us. And we will get through this, because, we're all going to get through it. It's as Anayah said today, we need to step out of the me mentality into the we mentality, which is the community mentality, because it's not just us who are affected by what we do, but it ripples out to the whole community.
Yeah. Today on Angel Heart Radio, Annette McCoy was with Janet Hickox, who is our resident astrologer. She had that was a brilliant show, and she spoke about the contravirus from an astrological point of view. And she also shared a lot of very relevant material. Now, one of the things I love about Janet is she can share very sensitive information, and yet remain calm and balanced and help us not go into fear. So I recommend you go and have a look at that, because it's really about, she was saying that one of the gates that's open in the what's it called? Human design astrology. Thank you. I think she said it was gate 56. I'm not sure, but that's related to the spleen. So which is about fear, and it's been wide open, right? So that was a very useful program, and that really gave me a really good perspective, and it helped me to feel much more in understanding without being in fear. Now, you know, there is a lot of reason to be very grateful, so grateful. Now, we know that sometimes when overwhelm comes, it's called overwhelm for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah,
because we are overwhelmed. The wave feels like I'm not riding it anymore. I am swamped by it.
Yeah.
It's not easy to go with that, but going with it is what led me, and opening up to Carol Ann and being really honest about what was happening really led me to these awareness moments and putting the pieces together. This is coming from somewhere, and it's somewhere usually within a fear thought that we've already got and maybe don't know that we have. So it's not about never feeling that way. It's what do we do when this happens?
Yes.
So reach out, ask questions, share.
Yes, definitely. That's what your community is here for. And something that I like to always remember is that we're here at this absolutely awesome time because we were chosen to be here. We volunteered to be here. There's lots and thousands of souls who wanted to be here. But hello, we're the lucky ones. And even if some days, like the last few days, we didn't feel so lucky. But then when you stop and you think about the whole situation, we are so blessed to be here at this time. But the important thing is to be here for one another and to be grateful for one another. So, and never feel that you've got nobody that you can talk to, because you always do. Whether it's somebody human or your angels.
Yeah, including us. You know, your Angel Heart Radio.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah. When I was feeling really like, oh, you know that feeling like you just want to throw up the whole time. So I thought, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Okay, I know what I'm going to do. And this was a really simple little thing, but it was really good for me. I thought about all the feel-good movies that I've watched, because I love feel-good movies, right? And I thought about what they were. And I decided I was going to go back and watch some of them. And I watched Notting Hill. And it just took me out of myself for a couple of hours. And it helped me to remember that no matter how bad things look, there's always a bigger plan. It's such a simple thing to do. I mean, it's another one of mine is When Harry Met Sally.
That's a great movie. Yeah. I love that.
So I'm going to rewatch that. And there are so many wonderful movies that I've enjoyed so much over the years. I watched another one the other night called Intouchables. It's a French movie, which I normally don't do subtitles, but I actually forgot it wasn't even in English halfway through. It's one of my all-time favorite movies, one of the best movies for me ever. So figure out what movies. And Intouchables, by the way, was about a guy from the projects who, in order to get his benefits, has got to, he's applied for jobs, and he applies for a job, and only because he has to, a job he doesn't think he'll ever get, and that is as a carer, which he has no experience for a rich aristocrat. And this is actually based on a true story, and these men are still very, very close to this day.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So find ways to just get out of your head for a little while. Meditation and things like that. I couldn't have meditated to save my life at the time. I know that's supposed to be the way to do it, but I couldn't do it. Put your music on, whatever it is. But again, be very, very aware of the conversations you're having. If anybody wants to chime into a conversation about how bad things are, get out of there fast. Get on the
Mhm.
stagecoach, get out of Dodge.
Yeah. Get out of Dodge. Yeah.
At all, you do not go there. I've got a very dear friend who, wanted to share something really distressing with me, and I just, no, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
No.
And it's
No.
not that you don't love your friends. You really love your friends, but they're going through their own stuff as well. We don't need to be in the stuff. We need to
No.
be in as much joy and gratitude as we can, because that's the big energy shifter.
It is. And they're entitled to their thoughts, but you don't have to step into their energy to share that thought with them, because that's
exactly
not what it's all about.
No.
It's not what
And
it's
by
all
the
about.
time they're through that, you'll still be here with your love, right?
Yeah.
They're going through their own stuff, and that's okay. Everyone's allowed to go through their stuff. It's balancing the divinity with our human experience here, and stepping more and more into the divinity of our human experience, so they're not separate anymore.
No.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here.
That's
And
what we
yes,
do.
we can feel, both Anayah and I are at the, we can't hug our grandchildren. We can't see our grandchildren, and it's school holidays, and they're going to be off from school, and birthdays, and all of these
Mother's
things.
Day.
Yeah. So, the thing is that we will come through this, and need to not only think of ourselves in the first place, which is number one, but everybody else as well, because it just ripples out. And we saw a really good example of that in what happened at Noosa the other day. One person infected 17 people. And that's how quick it happens, because they went out and had lunch or a birthday thing or something or other. So even though we might feel, oh, this isn't very fair, it is. And what we're going to come through with this is we're going to look at things so differently. We're going to find so many resources. We're going to find all sorts of things within ourselves and without of ourselves. And so it's time to look at this as a blessing, really, because when we look at it with gratitude, it becomes so different. And I can hear some people saying, oh, how can we be grateful for that? We can, because we are going to come through it. We're going to be different people. We're going to know so much more. And, we can set up, in these days, we've got the phone, we've got Skype, we've got Zoom, we've got so many ways, FaceTime, so many ways we can contact one another. And yes, I will be first in line when I can go and hug my grandchildren. And I'll probably squeeze them to bits. But, they realise and we realise that this is for community. And we will come through this, and we will be different, but we will be even more magnificent than we are now.
Exactly. And, Janet also spoke about that on her show with Annette today, and about, it just really spoke to me, everything that she said. So go and have a look at that. What was the other thing I wanted to say? Oh, my daughter has got she's such a clever cookie. My eldest daughter, she's the one with the children. So she's drawn up a timetable for her kids, because they're used to routine in their lives. Going to school, you have lunch at a certain time, you have morning tea at a certain time, right? All that sort of stuff. So she's drawn up different things that they can do between these times. Now, normally when they're at home, it's nothing like that. But to give them a sense of routine and what to expect. And so yesterday I Zoomed the kids, and it was just so fantastic. And that was one of the things I loved so much yesterday, because Bailey showed me a jar with the caterpillars that they've got, and he's explained to me that he's figured out, you just put a leaf in there when they need to do their chrysalis. And then he went off, and it was his time he said, you realise that this is movie time, which is kind of sacred, because they're not allowed just to have TV all the time, right? So it was an allotted time for a movie. So he took me into the lounge room, and I'm sitting there, and all I can see is nothing. And then he kept going, oh, sorry, Dee, watching his movie. Oh, sorry. I said, darling, you don't have anything to be sorry. Go and enjoy your movie. So Abby got on, and all I saw was her feet for about 2 minutes. But she was watching the movie, and it was just that sense of normalcy.
Mm. Yeah.
The kids were
Yeah.
just doing their thing. They weren't worried. They were just, isn't this great? We are actually allowed to have a movie in the daytime.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
their mum was
Look.
working from home. So there was all this balancing going on. It was really cool.
And this is it. Finding that balance is important. It's important for them, and it's important for their parents, and it's important for us,
Yeah.
their grandparents, and we know how loved we are. Our grandchildren and family love us to bits, just like we love them to bits. And you know, so because we love them so much, this is why we're doing what we're doing. And we're doing the isolation. We're not actually confined to barracks, but almost. But we're willing to do that for them and for us. And that to me is what pure love and true love is all about.
It's all about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're choosing to self-isolate, or if you're not, have a think about it. Because the sooner we look, there's a human aspect to this, like with the virus, and there's spiritual aspect, and they're all intertwined, and we know that.
Yep.
So what do we need to learn about responsibility for our community? So, you know, if you're sort of saying, oh, you know, whatever, and off you go. Look, that one person went to the restaurant and 17 people in the restaurant, because it's showing us, isn't it, Carol Ann, that we are a community and we need to be very aware of each other and behave in ways that are really respectful and responsible socially. It's a big time for that. Whereas we've been all about me for so long, as Elizabeth Peru pointed out in one of her blogs, as you just pointed out, it's now about the we, it's not about the me anymore. So it's going to change so much about us. And I think that's a very good thing, because we need changing. We need to go through an adjustment of understanding, responsibility and awareness. We're in that point, and Jen spoke about that as well today. Great show.
Yeah. So, you know, just coming back for a fraction to the ripple effect, we saw how at that restaurant, it rippled out to 17 people. What about we sort of think about, okay, so how many people can we radiate out and ripple out? Love, gratitude, peace, harmony. By being like that ourselves, then we're sharing that to people. They can pick up our energy, even if they're not at all spiritual. You smile at someone, you say hello to them, it's completely different to growling at them and pretending you don't even see them. And you know, this is what it's all about. It's how we're going to interrelate, even if we're not seeing people, how we're going to interrelate with one another, because that's where we're at.
We're affecting the vibrational harmony of the field, right?
Yeah.
So it's time, isn't it? You're so right, Carol Ann. It's time to realize that, hey, I'm sitting here, I'm choosing self-isolate. I'm not doing the shopping. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying home. That's it. But I'm really thinking about and grateful to understand, I don't know whether you can see me or not because of the glare, but that understanding and appreciation for standing in the field of harmony. So yes, I had 2 days where I wasn't, that's fine. Work through that. Great. Feel stronger than ever. So it's understanding that we have a direct influence on the frequencies around us. We are interacting all the time. Yep. Bruce Lipton is another great resource for you. Greg Braden. Check out these people. They're fantastic. They're amazing scientists, and they are really incredible and exciting for me because they blend science and spirituality.
Yes, and that's the wonderful thing. And if you know you feel like what good could one little person do? I want you to think about how Mother Earth is at the moment. You know, that because there's less pollution, because there's less people doing all of the things that we do on a daily basis. In Venice, fish and the dolphins, and I saw the other day even the swans are coming out into the canals of Venice, which is awesome. Pictures of different countries that normally from the NASA cameras show all smog and all of these things. They're clear. So, you know, the rivers are healing, the land is healing, the animals are healing, Mother Earth is healing, and we are healing through all of this because of coming from a place of loving ourselves and then changing, as Anayah said, the field that is all around us. And this is all when we add it all up, like, you know, as one little person, all of those things are happening to our beautiful Mother Earth.
Yeah.
And people are starting to look at life differently. So if we all can do our own little part, nobody's insignificant. We all add up. We're the community. And it's just beautiful. I get so happy when I see all of these things about how Mother Earth is healing, because I have a really great connection to Mother Earth. I feel her a lot. And so to be able to see physical proof of how Mother Earth is healing, because she was getting very upset with all of us up until this. And, you know, we're having a pretty good time with Mother Earth at the moment. And we all make a difference, every single one of us.
Yeah. And how quickly this healing response is happening. I mean, how quickly. So we think about the way that things have been going and the types of impacts we've been having on the planet, right? The whole planet.
Yep.
And we see after just weeks, these major healing events taking place. Can you hear Sam?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so here we go. So, you know, I just love animals, especially dogs. Whenever because there's a dog over here barking, there's a dog out there, Sam's barking. This is to pay attention. Dogs are about loyalty.
Yes.
One of the things they're about us being loyal to our planet. It's not even our planet. We don't own it.
No.
Being loyal to Mother Earth, being loyal to the opportunities that we have to create. It's not even creating change, isn't it? Stop making all the other changes. It's
and
the
it's
behavior.
allowing Mother Earth to heal.
Because we are not adding that additional impact. So how fast is she healing? How fast is Father Sky clearing?
Yep.
So if we want to have a world to live in, we are being shown very clearly right now, you know what? It's up to you.
Yep.
It's all up to you. And no one, not one single person is immune from this. No one.
We all play our part in this whole situation with the field and with the energies and how Mother Earth is healing. And you know, and with Mother Earth healing, then, and us going within in isolating or, you know, staying at home as they've asked us to do, if you see someone who's not doing that, don't get angry with them. Just send them love, or, you know, just because we don't know what's happening in someone else's life. So we need to take all of that into consideration. And the other thing I found was really exciting, because I do sometimes watch the news, Wuhan, where it first started, where they were a bit tough on everybody and locking them in their houses to start off with. 7 weeks later, their life is resuming normality. They're going to wait another week or so. They're starting to ease off all the restrictions. People can go out into the streets and all of that. And they said if they can, they've gone 5 days without any new new infections. Cases. And so if they can get through another week or two, then they're going to declare the all clear in Wuhan. Now, 7 weeks. That's not a long period of time when we think about human scale and the planetary scale and all of those
Yeah.
things. So
That's exactly right. So
yeah,
where we go now is up to us.
yes.
But we've been shown very clearly that we need to be very conscious, very conscious. So, yeah. So this has been great.
It's been really good. And we want you to know that we're here for you. So let us know. No,
Yeah,
that's what we're here for. Let us know.
absolutely. Absolutely. And if there's one of these, wonderful videos that we make that you want to have on a certain topic, let us know. We'd be happy to do that for you as well. Take care of you, because taking care of you has traditionally been seen, it's so selfish, especially for women. But we're realizing now that taking care of ourselves is an act of unconditional love, even while it has conditions. Yes, but once we become more and more willing and start to remove some of those conditions, the love that we give to ourselves then boosts our own immune system, boosts our feel good capacity, boosts our healing. And the more that we have all those things going on for ourselves, the more we have to give to others, give to the world, give to our friends, family, loved ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our vibration is showing that each and every way. And
Yeah.
that's what we need to be aware of, because that's what's going out into the field, into the world, rippling out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thanks, Carol Ann.
Well, thank you, Anayah. It's been wonderful. And we'll put those resources up for everybody.
Yep, we
And
will.
if you have a subject you'd like us to talk about tomorrow or any day, just put it in the comments and we'll take it from there. So
Great. Excellent. Thanks, everyone, for joining us and for sharing this out. Look, there's lots of wonderful things you can share. I do hope you are sharing what has meant something to you, even if it's not Angel Heart Radio. Share what makes you feel inspired, happy, confident, hopeful. Share, share, share. And we do hope that you like us on Facebook, our Angel Heart Radio Facebook. And when you do that, you get to find out what's coming up as well. So that's also another great reason.
Yep.
So, and thank you to everyone who's been recommending Angel Heart Radio. This is very cool. Thank you. It's great.
It is. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And our connection with Enlightened World Network has just been amazing as well.
Yes,
Some of
absolutely.
us are going to be on Enlightened World Network tomorrow, like me. I'm doing the meditation today and at 9:30 Brisbane time tomorrow morning, and it's about the butterfly and the rainbow journey. So hope you can join me. And then Anayah has hers. Oh, she's on tomorrow as well.
Yes, I'm on with Deb Goldberg tomorrow at 10 a.m. Brisbane time. So, and we actually created this title. What is it? Created this title a couple of months ago, and it's just that perfection of things, isn't it? You don't realize that when you are inspired to create something, the far-reaching effects it has, or how far in the future that the divine actually already knows what we need to know right now and reveals it to us at a bit at a time. Like with Silva, who's doing the program. She's just done a show today on calling angels in Italian. It's wonderful. Even though I couldn't understand it, I could tell it was wonderful. But years ago, it must be 5 or 6 years ago, when the angel spoke to me and said, "We are sending you someone. You will have a show in a non-English speaking show." And I thought, oh, wow, how cool is this? I was so excited. Who knew at that time that this show in Italian was going to be so valuable to the Italian community and all people who speak Italian? Apparently, if you speak French and Portuguese, no, Spanish and Portuguese, you'll understand it as well. So it's that overview that they have. I can't open the link. Everything's too slow. But anyway, you'll see what it is tomorrow.
Yep. And then hopefully we'll be back on tomorrow together as well.
Yeah.
That's our plan, to be on every day.
That's our plan.
To communicate with you and to let you know we're here for you.
Yeah.
We love
So make yourself a cuppa
Mhm.
and come join us. I think I'll make myself a cuppa for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we'll let you know what time it's going to be when we know, because we never know, do we?
We never know, and also it depends on what time Zoom's available, as well as all the things that are happening in our lives. But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that's what life's all about, isn't it? It's
What
about
life's
this
all
balance.
about.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So thank you so
Right.
much, everyone. Love your company. Take care.
Wonderful.
To
Thank
you.
you, Anayah. Thank you, everybody. Lots of love.
Thanks, everyone. Lots of love, Carol Ann.
Love to
Bye.
you. Bye.